Everyone in the city knew the name Emily Carter. She was the daughter of one of the richest men in America, a billionaire who built a business empire from nothing. But behind the expensive clothes, private schools, and luxury homes was a young woman who had pushed away everyone who tried to help her. Teachers quit. Personal assistants left. Even family members struggled to reach her. People whispered that Emily was impossible to handle. They said she was spoiled, angry, and cold. But nobody knew the pain hidden behind her silence. Until one ordinary janitor walked into her life and showed her that kindness could reach even the most broken hearts. Before we begin this inspiring story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, Kindness Story, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us where you are watching from, because your support helps us bring more emotional stories like this one. Emily Carter had everything money could buy, but she had lost the one thing money could never purchase: peace. After her mother passed away when she was young, Emily changed completely. Her father, Richard Carter, became one of the most successful businessmen in the country, but his success came with a price. He spent years building his company and slowly became a stranger to his own daughter. Emily grew up surrounded by people, yet she always felt alone. Every person around her wanted something from her family. Some wanted money. Some wanted opportunities. Some wanted attention. Over time, Emily stopped trusting people. At 22 years old, she had become known as the billionaire's difficult daughter. She would argue with employees, refuse help, and shut down every person who tried to get close to her. Her father hired the best counselors, assistants, and mentors, but nobody could break through the wall she had built around herself. One day, Richard decided to send Emily to work at one of his company's offices. He believed that seeing real people and real struggles might help her understand life beyond wealth. Emily hated the idea, but she agreed. The office was one of the largest buildings in the city. Hundreds of employees worked there every day. But among all those people, one man quietly went unnoticed. His name was Daniel Brooks. Daniel worked as a janitor in the building. Every morning, he arrived before sunrise. He cleaned the halls, fixed broken equipment, and made sure everyone had a safe place to work. Most employees walked past him without saying hello. They saw his uniform, but they never saw the person wearing it. What they didn't know was that Daniel had once lived a very different life. Years earlier, Daniel had served as a Navy SEAL. He had completed dangerous missions, saved lives, and faced situations most people could never imagine. But after losing close friends during a mission, Daniel struggled with the memories. When he returned home, he decided he wanted a quiet life helping people in simple ways. He didn't want attention. He didn't want medals. He only wanted to make a difference, even if nobody noticed. The first time Daniel met Emily, she was standing in the hallway yelling at an employee who had made a small mistake. Everyone around her stayed silent. They were afraid of her father's power. Daniel calmly walked over and said, "Are you okay?" Emily looked surprised. Nobody had asked her that before. They usually apologized, blamed themselves, or walked away. "I'm fine," she replied coldly. Daniel nodded and said, "Sometimes people who say they're fine are the ones carrying the heaviest weight." Emily looked at him for a moment, then walked away without saying anything. But those words stayed in her mind. Over the next few weeks, Daniel continued treating Emily like a normal person. He didn't care about her last name. He didn't try to impress her. He simply showed kindness. When he noticed she skipped lunch, he left a small note on her desk saying, "Even strong people need to take care of themselves." When he saw her sitting alone after a difficult meeting, he offered her a cup of coffee and listened without judging. Slowly, something changed. For the first time in years, Emily met someone who wanted nothing from her. Daniel didn't care about her money or her father's company. He cared about the person behind the reputation. One evening, Emily found Daniel repairing a broken chair in a small storage room. She asked him why he worked so hard when nobody appreciated him. Daniel smiled and said, "Because doing the right thing doesn't become less valuable just because nobody is watching." Those words touched Emily deeply. She finally opened up about the pain she had carried for years. She told Daniel how lonely she felt after losing her mother and how she believed everyone only saw her as a rich man's daughter. Daniel listened quietly. Then he said, "Your past explains your pain, but it doesn't have to control your future. You are not defined by what you lost. You are defined by what you choose to become." For the first time in a long time, Emily cried. Not because she was weak, but because someone finally understood her. Months passed, and people began noticing a different Emily. She started greeting employees. She apologized when she was wrong. She helped new workers feel welcome. She even started a program through her father's company to support families struggling financially. Everyone wanted to know what changed her. Richard Carter was especially surprised. He had spent years trying to reach his daughter with money, professionals, and opportunities. But a simple janitor had done what nobody else could. One day, Richard approached Daniel and asked him how he managed to help Emily. Daniel simply replied, "I didn't fix her. I just reminded her that she was worth caring about." Richard later discovered Daniel's past as a Navy SEAL and realized the quiet janitor had been a hero long before he ever entered that building. But Daniel didn't see himself as a hero. To him, heroism wasn't about recognition. It was about showing up, listening, and choosing kindness when it was easier to walk away. Emily never forgot the lesson Daniel taught her. She learned that kindness doesn't need wealth, power, or a special title. Sometimes the smallest acts of compassion can change someone's entire life. Years later, when people asked Emily about the person who changed her, she never mentioned the billion-dollar company, the luxury homes, or the powerful people around her. She always said one name: Daniel Brooks. Because the man everyone ignored became the person who saved her heart. And that is the true power of kindness. You never know what someone is fighting behind their smile. You never know how much one kind word, one helping hand, or one moment of understanding can mean. So today, choose kindness. Speak gently. Help someone who feels invisible. Because sometimes, the person you think has nothing to offer may be the very person who changes your life forever.